Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to this playthrough of the original Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario All-Stars for the SNES. This is by far the definitive version of Super Mario Bros. This is the best way to play the original Super Mario Bros. The graphics are better. You can actually tell what Mario actually looks like. He actually looks like a plumber, not a cluttered mess of pixels like he did in the original game. You can actually tell what things are, too. They don't look like cluttered pixels like they did in the other game. The music sounds a lot nicer too. Actually sounds worthy of being put onto an MP3 player. And actually, pretty much everything in this game looks and sounds better than the original NES version. It's a why bother with the NES now. Only if you have, maybe if you have an NES and don't have an SNES, then, but for real, if you have an SNES, go play this version of Super Mario Bros. This is the best version of the game. And this is also by far one of the best games on the Super NES. This collection, it's on Super Mario All-Stars, also contains the real Super Mario Bros. 2, or that they like to call it Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels, as the American version of Super Mario Bros. 2 on it, which is called Doki Doki Panic in Japan, and it also has Super Mario Bros. 3, which is by far the best 2D Mario game there is. Either that or Super Mario World, but a lot of time I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is. That's because I played Super Mario Bros. 3 a lot as a kid. Because the NES is one of the few systems I actually owned as a kid. Fun fact, I never actually had a Super NES. I never owned a Super NES before. Even to this very day, I still never actually owned a real SNES. I just played this on the emulator. Why? Because I wanted an SNES for years and no one would buy me one. So, I had no choice but to just go ahead and download an emulator. The emulator is SNES 9X. I believe it was designed for 9X-based versions of Windows, which would be Windows 95, Windows 98, and Windows ME. But it works on Windows 2000, and it works on Windows XP quite well. It even works on Windows 10 pretty good too, so yeah, I guess it is still not the best. The sound doesn't always sound the greatest, but I think it works well most of the time. Sometimes the textures don't always come out properly too as well. There's some, but for the most part, yeah, it turns out pretty well. It it's still playable. It's perfectly playable, especially if you have a controller too. I'm playing this on a PS1 controller, and it feels like I'm playing it on the real thing. It feels just like a real, actual Super NES controller, because the PS1 controller was made after the Super NES controller. It's based on the Super NES controller, so go figure, I guess it works then. So, this is going to be a full playthrough of the game, but what's something that's interesting about this full playthrough of this game is that, what's interesting about this full playthrough is that most people do speedruns where you can beat the game in 5 minutes, doing an intricate way. However, you have to be very skillful and masterful to do something like that. I'm clearly not that skillful and masterful, so I do something different instead. You know what I do instead is, instead of doing that, what I do is I just go the long way. Well, when I say go the long way, I don't literally mean go the long way. What I mean is I play the first 2 worlds of the game. I first play the first 2 worlds of the game. First 3 worlds, actually. I actually play the world 3. And then after I end world 3, partway, well, you'll see, but partway to 4-2, into 4-2, I use the warp zone to go to world 8. It's a little bit different than most traditional methods. That's because if you play it this way, you get to earn a lot of extra lives and other extra powers and things like that that could help you beat the last world in the game. Well, as opposed to if you just go straight to the last world of the game, you may not have enough lives to get through it all. And of course, you're going to be getting killed a lot at 8-2 and 8-3, so yeah, you might as well come fully prepared with a full arsenal of flowers and a full arsenal of lives. And you can also kill those imposters in this game too, but in this game too, you can actually see them become like a mushroom or something like that. They really did overdo this game. This is back when Nintendo was at its best as the definitive Nintendo system. Well, and I actually think the SNES was the best Nintendo system there was. That wasn't until I got Nintendo 64. I think the N64 is the best Nintendo. Well, I wish it had some kind of backwards compatibility. If there's some kind of way to play SNES games on N64, which backwards compatibility wasn't exactly a thing back then. The only known systems that really did it back then were the Atari systems. You know, the Atari 7800 played Atari 2600 games, which ironically enough, they actually had Mario games on those Atari systems. Yeah, believe it or not, they did. I even just recently started playing my Atari 5200 emulator, and the Atari 5200 emulator has, I have Mario Bros. On that. It actually plays quite well, but of course, if you're playing on an actual 5200 controller, yeah, you're gonna end up with a lot of trouble. But if you play on an emulator like me, yeah, you could get through it just fine. So we got most of those coins. I also love that they made new music for the bonus stages too. They made the bonus stages look like that instead of just playing the invincibility theme like what they did in the original game. Yep, the people, this truly is a masterpiece, Super Mario Bros. A definitive masterpiece that everyone should play. But then again, most people have played the original, but most of them haven't played this. I wish they could have brought this version to the Game Boy Advance. You know, like how they brought Super Mario World to the Game Boy Advance, and they brought Yoshi's Island to the Game Boy Advance. I wish they could have brought this to Game Boy Advance, but they didn't. The closest thing we got to on Game Boy Advance, we got it on Game Boy Color as Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, but it looked like the original game from 1985. It even had the Super Mario Bros. 2, The Lost Levels. Or what it was called in that game, Super Mario Bros. For Super Players is what it was called. Which I don't get about this game's sequel, this game's long-forgotten sequel, the one that looks a lot like it, but people say it's extremely difficult. I actually don't think it's that difficult. I played for that game quite a few times, actually. I've beaten that game before, and yeah, sure, it has its moments, but for the most part, it's not that difficult of a game. If you're skilled at Mario games, you play Mario games a lot, you can get through that Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2 easy. I know, I've done it before. And I actually like that version more than the Doki Doki Panic version. I wish we could have gotten that in the United States rather than the Doki Doki Panic version. But what am I to say? What does it matter? It's just stuff that happened over 30 years ago. People 30 years ago aren't gonna care about what people are gonna be saying about now. People in today's generation of people that are playing the new games, and they say all that about me. I don't think they care. Like anything. I talk crap about old games all the time. But then again, do the people that make those games really care about some insignificant game they made 30-something years ago? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I don't know, a lot of these companies don't even exist anymore, so, yeah. Oh, fun fact about this level, World 2-3, if you collect every single coin in this level, somewhere on the bridge in World 3-1, you could find an invisible, it's like there's an invisible block, a coin block, but it has a green mushroom, a 1-up mushroom. But you can only get it if you collect every coin in this level, which I'm going to do, as you're going to see here. Collect all them coins. It's also good to collect as many coins as possible. The more coins you have, the more lives you could earn in the end, too. Because, every 100 coins you get earns you a new life. That's a very good survival tip right there. Just collect as many coins as you can. So that's the end of World 2-3. Man, we're really plowing through this game. We're at 2-3 already. We even got some fireworks there, too. Does fireworks mean anything? Does that mean you get any extra points or something like that? I don't know. I never really figured that out. To this day, I still never figured it out. And plus, the good thing about my planet, too, is we avoid looping stages. I never understood see, what's better about looping stages in this SNES game is that if you go the wrong way, it actually makes a sound telling you went the wrong way. It does things to indicate you went the wrong way. But in the original NES version, didn't do that. In the original NES version, it just makes you keep going and going and going. You don't know what's wrong. It's just going on in an infinite loop. It doesn't really give you any pointers or guidelines. And again, some might say that's actually harder. Maybe I am being a wuss about it then. Yeah, I will make a video of Super Mario Bros. 2, the Japanese version, Lost Levels, as we call it here. I'll make videos of that eventually, or I'll play through that game. I can't guarantee I'll do a full playthrough like I did of this game, but I might make some videos on that game too. It's extremely challenging, and I love it. And I don't think it's as challenging as people say it is. Maybe those people in Nintendo of America that thought that Americans shouldn't be playing that game, so how challenging it was. I think they were a bunch of wusses, and they didn't really know what real challenging was. But then again, games in general have been getting very easier lately. Like a lot of games in the N64, PS1 era are a lot easier, and the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox era they got even easier. And today's games are very easy. I mean, there's one of the Kirby games, one of the newer Kirby games, Kirby's Epic Yarn is what it was called. That game's one of the easiest games ever. Stevie Wonder could beat that game with no guidelines at all, and he could figure it out easy. A baby could beat Kirby's Epic Yarn, from what I was told. Then again, I think I did. Actually, no, I did play a game for it is very easy. It's the easiest Kirby game there is. If only Kirby Superstar were that easy. Don't worry, there'll be more videos from Kirby Superstar from me eventually. So far I did the Spring Breeze level in Kirby Superstar, but yeah, I will eventually do more of that. See, this is where that 1-up appears. See, it's around here somewhere. Ah, there it is. The green 1-up. 1-up. I also believe there's a power. There's one of those stars here. I wonder if that's where they got the idea for Power Stars in Super Mario 64. I mean, Super Mario 64 really was a major game changer when they really started to make Mario games more serious and 3D platforming. They also wanted to compete against Crash Bandicoot, which came out just a little bit earlier. But again, I like the original Super Mario 64 more than Crash Bandicoot. But that's just my opinion. That's just comparing it to the original Crash Bandicoot. The original Crash Bandicoot wasn't the best. It definitely was very inferior to its sequels. Crash Bandicoot 2 was a lot better, and so was Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Those games were a lot better. And you know what's even better than those? The Spyro games. And Spyro games are a lot easier than these classic Mario games. Then again, Spyro has a very different premise from Mario. They're different things. They're unique. They're different from each other. I think it's good that they make things different and unique from each other. I'm quite a fan of that idea. It's a novel idea, as some may say. So we got for 3-1 now. With a lot of time to spare, more points. I don't think score actually does anything in this game. It's kind of useless, so I even bother to put a score in there. Oh, here's something else cool you can do in the SNES version. See, you hit that turtle, and then you let it go flying through, and then look at that, you got a 1-up. The most you get in the NES version was 5,000 points. This version you can get a downright 1-up. I believe it may have also been like that in Super Mario Bros. Deluxe on the Game Boy Color, which I might make a video of that. But again, it's pretty much the same as the original Super Mario Bros. But it has a lot of added features. You can even set dates into it. You could even treat it like a PDA kind of thing where you could like add dates or reminders and things like that. Things like you'd say on date such and such I have a dentist appointment or something like that. But again, I don't go to the dentist as much anymore. I'm downright. However, I'm not scared of dentists though. Some people have a fear of dentists. I'm not. Apparently, Mr. Monk from the show Monk has a big fear of dentists. Then again, I don't really blame him for that. I wonder if Mr. Bean has a big. I think Mr. Bean did kind of have a fear of dentists. But then again, he knocked his dentist out and drugged his dentist, and then he ended up having to do the dental work himself. I think Mr. Bean might make a pretty good dentist too. But then again, Mr. Bean also made a pretty good surgeon too in his first movie. That was funny. I was gonna say too, it's never little known fact about Mario is that Mario actually had 3 different cartoon shows back in the late 80s and early 90s. He had the Super Mario Bros. Super Show at one point. He also had a cartoon based on Super Mario Bros. 3, and he even had a cartoon based on Super Mario World. Those shows I think were pretty good. They're definitely very kid-oriented, like very little kid. I can understand why older kids wouldn't like them that much, but I say they were still pretty good for for a kid's cartoon, for a downright kids cartoon. They were pretty fun and entertaining, I would say. They had a parody showcase once on Super Mario Bros. Super Show where they parodied like sci-fi movies. I remember there was another episode where I think it was a Super Mario. I can't remember if it was a Super Show or Super Mario Bros. 3. I think it was where Mario tells the story of the time he rescued the president of Russia and the president of the United States all at once, where he got the golden plunger. Yeah, that was pretty good. I think that was made by Deke. I think it is. D-I-C, Deke. I just think it was pronounced Dick, but I could see why they want to call it Deke, especially considering the fact they had the logo fly into the little kid's bedroom, and then they say Deke, like that, if you know what I'm talking about. I think they also made Inspector Gadget, too, at one point. I never actually watched Inspector Gadget that much as a kid, but yeah, I kind of liked the concept. It was kind of like a kid-friendly RoboCop, if you take it into perspective. Heck, Inspector Gadget and RoboCop are a lot alike, but who came first, Inspector Gadget or RoboCop? My mom always tells me that RoboCop sucks, which most people would disagree with that. Heck, Mark from Classic Game Room says that RoboCop is like the second most quotable movie ever made, the first being Empire Strikes Back, and both of those movies were directed by Irving Kershner, so, So I guess it kind of makes sense that those movies would be very quotable. And so we're getting to the part where we're going to have to go for that warp thing I was talking about. We're going to start putting my plan into action. Like I said, we're not playing for the whole game, because we're wusses. We're just playing for the earlier levels of the game, the best levels of the game, then we're going straight to where Bowser is, so we can teach Bowser to stop kidnapping my princess. Man, Peach seems to get kidnapped all the time. It's like her job to get kidnapped. I wish I could get paid to get kidnapped and have a chubby Italian plumber come and save you. Heck, Mario isn't even a real Italian plumber. He's like an Italian American. I think, at least in his shows, that's what they said. They said he's an Italian American. That's why he has a Brooklyn accent. I think they kind of referenced that in the movie, because it's also around the time they had the movie. Remember that bad Super Mario Bros. Movie that they had at this time? It came out in like 1993, I think it was. And I remember that John Leguizamo played Luigi in the movie, and Luigi was depicted more as being the main character rather than Mario. It's like, come on, do the people that make that movie, did they even play a Mario game? Did they even know what Mario was? They weren't even brothers in that movie. They're like father and son. How could such a monstrosity like that exist? If only they made it more like the Mario cartoons, then it may have been better. Sure, they were very downright kiddish, but at least it'd be a lot better than, the Super Mario Brothers movie. And then again, a few months later, Jurassic Park came out, and everything was forgotten. Because we all know Jurassic Park is a great movie about dinosaurs that run around the dark and eat our lawyers. I guess that means they're not all that bad. Then again, I have a lot of respect for lawyers. Lawyers protect you from the vile forces of the law. We might be needing lawyers soon, considering what might be happening with YouTube. So, yeah, you should thank lawyers. When you see a lawyer, you should thank him for his services. I mean, you should even donate to help law firms and lawyers that too. But then again, not everyone has the money to donate. I mean, I keep being begged for donations all the time. Like from Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witness comes over to my door every day and they ask me, and then say they want to talk about God, and I'm like, no, I don't. I wonder what Wolverine would say to Jehovah's Witness. Didn't he say the same thing to them that he said to Professor Xavier Magneto when they want to recruit him for the CIA? However, if it was the Jedi's Witness, then I would definitely donate to them. The Jedi come to your door with a book about the Force, and we want to talk to you about the Force? The Jedi's Witness. Yep, I would love that. I'd love to have Mace Windu or Obi-Wan or Anakin come to the door. A lot of people seem to hate those Star Wars prequel movies, all because Anakin's so whiny and bratty in those movies. I kind of get that. I can see why people don't like them so much. But then again, new Star Wars nowadays is becoming a lot better. I mean, I just saw Star Wars Episode 9 yesterday. I'm not going to spoil any of it, but yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. It was better than the first two movies in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. It was a lot more original in Episode 7, and it had a much better premise and story than Episode 8, so yeah, I guess it was pretty good in that respect. I also still think that they should focus more on making spin-off movies, like interesting spin-off movies. Like Rogue One was a pretty interesting movie. I liked watching Rogue One. I saw Rogue One at the theaters. It was 3 years ago when that came out, and yeah, I thought it was quite entertaining. It's the kind of Star Wars prequel fans have been wanting. It's better than the prequels. It's better than seeing Anakin being whiny and bratty. It's better than boring political nonsense. It's like watching CNET, but with aliens and the government. There's plenty enough aliens in the government in real life as is. There probably are aliens that work in the government. You never know what kind of aliens could be lurking around in there. And some people have fears of aliens. Then again, a lot of people have all kinds of ridiculous fears, even a fear of milk. I mean, I feared milk at one point. Yeah, I remember it was a year and a half ago. My mom spiked my milk with vinegar. Ever drink milk with vinegar? That doesn't taste very good. It tastes like something out of a nightmare. Well, here we are. We're at the second last level of the game, the most difficult level in the game, and we're the weak little Mario. So, happy hunting. Good luck. Oh crap, no, he's not. Good, I got the better of him. He jumped when he shouldn't have. If only those enemies were smart and they actually know to go for you and they actually know what to do against you. Yeah, that would be, if only they could actually, know how to go after you. Then again, the game might be too hard then if they knew how to fight you. Like if the green Koopa turtles things knew to not walk off the purposely false their destiny, knew not to walk off things, maybe then they would, stand a better chance against fighting against Mario. Or if the red ones knew more, homing in tactics on Mario, or if they could learn your strategy, like what a lot of the enemies do in Rayman. Remember the original Rayman in the Badlands, when there's that buzz, that mosquito thing, and he keeps crouching down, you try to hit him, but he always runs away from you. But then he goes near you, so then he knows when to strike. He's like a real-life mosquito. They know where to strike you at the right moment, and then afterwards you end up with mosquito bites. Painful mosquito bites. Yeah, if you ever go camping for me, I've been camping in nearly 10 years. But I liked camping, except for the mosquito part, though, and except for aliens and Michael Jackson and other weird things you might encounter out in the woods. Who knows, maybe Michael Jackson is still alive, and he just lives out in exile in the woods. Who knows? So, this is by far the only looping stage, real looping stage we'll see. I often forget this is a looping stage. It doesn't feel like one, because I know the stage like the back of my hand. I haven't played this game, this specific game, in like, I don't know, 5 years or so, and yet I remember exactly where everything is. That's exactly what I'm like when I play these games. It's like ingrained into my brain. It's like carved in stone. If there's one thing I'll remember when I'm dead and through death and eternity, it will be how to get through 8-4 in Super Mario Bros., since it's pretty much exactly the same on the SNES. The only difference is the music actually changed to the underwater music when you went to that underwater segment. Here's the final boss. Here's Bowser. Let's fry his butt. Yep, we fried his butt. Now let's go and get our princess. Oh look, there she is. There's the princess. She's gonna start making out with Mario. Now things are getting a little bit freaky. Maybe a little too freaky for my channel. Thank you, Mario. The kingdom is saved. Now try a more difficult quest. Really? A more difficult quest? You really want us to do something more difficult? Well, Stray Phoenix signing out.